My name is Dr. P.C. Patel, Professor and Chief Soil Health Specialist, Anand Agricultural University and Patel University, Anand. Today, the topic of my YouTube is urea displacement for our granule of rice and helps in minimizing ammonia loss. So here you can see that a displacement of urea supergranules in paddy field. Then second figure, fertilizer displacement in Tanzania, IFDC. And here the machine for urea displacement technique, Philippines. So according to the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations, agriculture with its allied sectors is the largest source of livelihoods in India. 70% of the country rural household still depend primarily on agriculture for their livelihood. However, as the Indian economy has diversified and grown, agriculture contribution to GDP has steadily declined from 1951 to 2011. The agriculture sector in India is plagued by a number of issues that include small and fractional landholding. Means in India, you know that more than 70% farmers have small and marginal farmer, and they have less land holding. Lack of fertile seeds, irrigation, insufficient mechanization, and more. So low crop production is mainly caused by the excess use of chemical fertilizers and pesticides. So at present, the farmer are used indiscriminately use chemical fertilizers, resulted in the microorganisms are not present in soil. You will not find the earthworms, and the soil become dead, and the crop productivity has been declined due to non-availability of the nutrient from soil to plants. So which also lead to decline in quality. So we are not only obtain the quantity, but quality of the produce has been also declined. So constant innovation and new technologies are needed to address the issue of decrease in quality and quantity of production. So both we have the problem, and you know that the population of the India has been increased fast, and therefore there is no scope to increase the land area. So we have the only two options. One is to increase the crop productivity per unit area and time, and another option, we have to go for verticals. So here you can see that journeyman farmers apply the urea to the rice field. Then urea displacement, UDP technique, Philippines. The urea displacement technique developed by the International Rice Research Institute, IRRI, and International Fertilizer Development Center, IFDC, is a good example of a climate-smart solution for rice systems. The usual technique for applying urea, the main nitrogen fertilizer for rice, is through a broadcast application. This is a very inefficient practice with 60 to 70% of the nitrogen applied being lost and contribute to greenhouse gases emission and water pollution. Here I want to add that you know that in India, the State Agricultural University has recommended on the basis of the research, ammonium sulfate is better for the rice crop, but majority of the more than 70% farmers are using the urea. And in urea, also there is a problem of the leaching loss, and there will be the contamination of water also. So in the urea displacement technique, urea is made into briquettes of 1 to 3 grams that are placed at 7 to 10 centimeter soil depth after the paddy is transplanted. These techniques decrease nitrogen losses by 40% and increase urea efficiency to 50%. So we require 50% less urea because the efficiency has been increased. It increases yield by 25% with an average 25% decrease in urea uses. Then why is urea displacement technique Philippines? The widespread adoption of the UDP technique in Bangladesh had important impacts. Farmer incomes have increased thanks to both increased yield and reduced fertilizers cost. There are now 2,500 briquette making machine in Bangladesh. On-farm jobs have also been created, so it creates the job opportunity also. At a global level, UDP has reduced greenhouse gases emission caused by the production and management of fertilizer. It also increases the agriculture system resilience. As fertilizer prices are like a link to energy prices and consequently very volatile. Reducing fertilizer use also increases farm and country resilience to economic shock. So urea displacement technique Philippines, the urea displacement technique developed by the International Rice Association. So we have seen this. Then urea displacement technique Philippines. So here you can see that production of urea briquette, IFDC 80 DP project, Bangladesh. They are prepared the briquette from the urea and they are applied 8 to 10 centimeter depth of the soil after transplanting of the paddy crop. Then one company, others lime powder, urea and DAP briquette machine. Nominal price was 2,000 to 2,500 kN and the cost of this machine is 2.27 lakhs. So this agri-tech startup has developed a machine that will increase productivity by 25% by Krishna Reddy, February 2020. Updated on Thursday, August 2021. So here you can see they have developed the machine for apply the urea displacement. So distinct horizon patterns, DH-worthy is tool that help farmer place fertilizer deep into the soil using the urea displacement UDP technique, reducing excess use of fertilizer and increasing crop productivity. So that machine has been used in crop productivity. And if you have interest, and I have given the website, so you can see the details. Then Dr. M.S. Swaminathan. So you know that he is the father of Indian Green Revolutions. So report on trial of urea displacement technology for productivity and profitability enhancement and the rainfed rice system in Odisha in India. So Dr. M.S. Swaminathan conducted his Joint Research Foundation, Chennai, Tamil Nadu, and he has conducted the trial. So his name, foundation name is M.S. Swaminathan Research Foundation. So he has conducted the experiment in Odisha, India. So report on trial of urea displacement technology for productivity and profitability enhancement and the rainfed rice system in Odisha, India look report of Dr. M.S. Swaminathan. The MSSRF conducted field trial to evaluate the efficacy of the urea displacement EDP methodology in rice and the rainfed system in Koraput district of Odisha state in India. So here you can see that displacement of urea supergranule recorded maximum number of tillers and grain yield, possibly due to minimal loss of nitrogen from the soil due to slow release of nitrogen. So here the nitrogen released slowly by the urea supergranules, so minimum loss, leaching loss. The impact of urea supergranules was evident at all stages of crop growth and development, as it increased the plant height, number of tillers and panicle per hill, and grain yield 25% increase. So 28% increase. You can see here when you are using the deep placement of USG supergranule, urea supergranules. So it is very good increase of the grain yield of rice, 28%. So continue income of the farmers who use urea supergranule for the rice variety. Jyotirmai was more by 27% in comparison to those who did not go for this procedure. So those who have not conducted or not follow the methods, so they are getting 27% higher crop production. Similarly, farmers who grew variety Himanmai as a direct seeded rice or as transplanted rice harvested 16% and 17% more paddy than those who did not adopt this procedure. So it is interesting to know that that system will work in transplanted rice or direct seeded rice, and the productivity has been increased from 16 to 17% as compared to not adopt the same procedure. In effect, the EDP technology gave a net profit increase of 78% in the case of Jyoti Mai and Hiren Mai direct seeded rice. And transplanted rice, the profit level was more by 49% and 53% respectively. So you can see here the rice grain production profit increase 78% in both the variety, and the profit was to the tune of 49 and 53% respectively for the Jyotirmai and Hiranmai direct seeded variety. Then deep placement of urea supergranules in transplanted rice principle and practices. So rice is the most important food crop in developing country of Asia, where population densities are very high and overall dietary levels are not adequate. In South and Southeast Asia, rainfall and irrigated transplanted rice optimize nearly 2/3 of the rice growing area and produces more than 80% of the paddy rice. So in Asia, you know that the more area under rice crop. In this area, Urea conventionally applied by farmer is very inefficiently used by transplanted rice, largely because of serious loss up to 60% of applied nitrogen via ammonia volatilization, denitrification, leaching, and or runoff. In order to minimize nitrogen loss, especially loss due to denitrification, historically, the Japanese have used different ways of deep placement fertilizer nitrogen. In 1975, IFDC proposed use of supergranule of urea, USG, in place of mud ball containing urea fertilizer to achieve the same agronomic benefit as achieved through the Japanese concept of deep point placement of fertilizer nitrogen in transplanted rice. So it is continue. So Urea applicator is new technology in rice production in Bangladesh. It gave the highest agronomic use efficiency, apparent recovery efficiency, utilization efficiency, and partial factor productivity among the different nitrogen management options without sacrificing grain yield. So here you can increase the grain yield, but we can increase the efficiency of the fertilizer, and cost of the fertilizer also minimized. So based on the finding, it can be concluded that the Urea applicator could save about 30% urea effectively. So you can, suppose you can use 100 kg nitrogen, then you can require 70 kg urea. So the efficiency has been increased, and our country could save about $107 million only in borrow season, discarding nitrogen fertilizer cost. So they are talking about the Bangladesh. So it has opened the possibility for substantial saving from fertilizer and for rice yield increase in Asia, and rice producer may be suggested to apply urea using applicator for their economic benefit. So you know that in India, China, Bangladesh, there is a larger area of the rice, and if the farmers are using just such technology, they can save the area and they can help in reduce the mitigation of the climate change. So efficacy of basal urea and deep placement of urea supergranules on growth and yield of flooded rice. So the experiment was conducted at Agronomy Field Laboratory, Rajshahi University during the period from May to November 2018 in order to study the efficacy of basal urea and deep placement of urea supergranule on growth and yield of flooded rice. Experimental results showed that both basal and deep placement of urea supergranule had significant effect on flooded rice growth and yield. The results suggested that to apply additional urea supergranules at the rate of 100 kg per hectare as deep placement using a self-loaded injector at 60 days after sowing, we can achieve additional 7.1% more yield, 1.83 ton per hectare, than conventional practices. So urea replacement for minimizing ammonia loss in an intensive rice cropping system. You can see here there is a problem of the global warming, and there is a need to mitigation of the climate change by adopting different agrotechnics. So it is urgently necessary to reduce environment harm while simultaneously ensuring food security from agriculture in China. Urea displacement (UDP) has been widely recognized as an efficient way to increase rice yield with less nitrogen used in flooded rice fields. So in China, they have conducted their research work and they found the positive results, and they can save the nitrogen fertilizer in flooded rice. The ammonia volatilization, grain yield, and nitrogen use efficiency in terms of the nitrogen recovery efficiency were investigated during the 2014 and 2016 rice growing seasons. The results demonstrated that little ammonium nitrogen could diffuse into surface water under UDP urea displacement, thus negligible flood water ammonia nitrogen was detected. The seasonally cumulative ammonia volatilization of the UDP accounted for only 1% of the total applied nitrogen, which decreased by 91% compared to surface broadcasting. So here you can see the efficiency. So as compared to surface broadcasting, here we can reduce the urea quantity. So the ammonia intensity, ammonia nitrogen loss per crop yield was reduced by 92% over surface broadcasting. So it is too high. So efficiency of the urea has been increased and the nitrogen intensity loss was reduced by 90%. So it definitely helps in mitigation of climate change, and it is a present day of the need of the globally, particularly in Asia, the farmers are growing the rice crop. So urea displacement for minimizing ammonia loss in an intensive rice cropping system, so it is continue. So moreover, displacement of urea could supply a higher ammonium nitrogen concentration in soil during early growth stage and prolonged duration of nitrogen availability for 2 months. As a result, urea displacement remarkably increased nitrogen uptake by 28% compared with the surface broadcasting treatment in 3 years. You know that any crop requires the nutrient throughout the life period. So the life period of the rice is 4 months. So here you can see that when you are apply the urea, displacement of urea, then there will be it supply the urea, nitrogen in early growth stage, then prolonged duration of nitrogen availability for 2 months, and as a result, urea displacement remarkably increased nitrogen uptake by 28%. So continuous supply of the nitrogen, so plant will take the nitrogen and When the nitrogen uptake increase, then there will be more dry matter production and crop yield has been increased when you compare with the surface broadcasting. Because when you are apply the surface broadcasting urea, then there will be leaching loss and denitrification. So the efficiency of the applied urea has been declined in surface broadcasting as compared to urea deep placement. So urea deep placement treatment significantly increase yield and nitrogen recovery efficiency by 10% and 55% under favorable weather condition 2015 and 2016 dry season respectively. So in China, they have conducted the experiment 3 years, and in 2015 and 16, so on the basis of the 2 rice season, they have concluded that the yield nitrogen recovery efficiency has been increased 10 and 55% during 2015 and 2016 rice season respectively. Therefore, the deep placement of urea can be considered a slow release fertilizer, which better matches nitrogen demand of rice plant and effectively minimizes nitrogen losses, especially ammonia volatilization. The reduced nitrogen practices under UDP, that is RNDP treatment, with a 25% reduction in nitrogen dose can represent an effective and promising strategy to achieve environment integrity and food security in intensive rice cropping system. So suppose on the basis of the state agricultural university, suppose in India, they recommend dose is suppose 100 kg nitrogen and 30 kg phosphorus. Then we can say when we use the UDP treatment for the placement, urea deep placement, then nitrogen requires 75 kg and 30 kg phosphorus. So efficiency can be increasing, particularly nitrogen. You also reduce the phosphatic fertilizer dose also, because when you are apply in that way, then there is a less chances of the fixation of the phosphorus also. Then deep placement of urea increase fertilizer use efficiency and yield of summer tomato. So you can see here the GI of tomato. So Kumari et al. His co-worker 2019 from Agriculture Research Institute, Hajipur, Bangladesh regional fertilizer deep placement is a proven technology for nutrient supply to different crops all over the world. Fertilizer deep placement is more effective than the traditional method, that is surface broadcasting. It is traditional methods of applying fertilizer across a field. Most of the farmers in Bangladesh do not follow the judicious nutrient management strategies for vegetable production, and so the farmers cannot get maximum benefit of fertilizer application. So the fertilizer use efficiency has been declined, and therefore farmers should have to, and therefore farmers are applying more chemical fertilizers. So the cost of cultivation is increasing. Cost of cultivation of crop production has been increasing, and farmers get less benefit. Moreover, when the farmers are applying more chemical fertilizers like urea, ammonium sulfate, or other fertilizers, then there will be problem of the greenhouse gases, and particularly nitrogen. There will be leaching loss of nitrogen, ammonia, then volatilization, denitrification. So the rise of the temperature globally and therefore we have to look the judicious use of nutrient management for any crop, rice, tomato, wheat, or whatever it may be. So deep placement of urea increased fertilizer is efficiency and yield of summer tomato. So at Rahmatpur, Barisal during 2 seasons of 2016-17 and 2017-18, the effect of different form of urea fertilizer deep placement tested to quantify the fertilizer use efficiency and yield of summer tomato cultivation. The treatments were pre-urea, broadcasting farmer practices, pre-urea deep placement, and urea supergranule deep placement. So fertilizer use efficiency was increased after application of deep placement urea. So it is a proven technology, I told that, and we can use deep placement of urea, then the fertilizer use efficiency has been increased, and it is proved by the experimentally at Bangladesh, China, and in our India also, Odisha, India. So economic yield was higher, 27.4 ton per hectare, with urea supergranule followed by deep placement urea, 24.5 ton per hectare, lowest being observed in case of farmer practices. So you can see here farmer practices only 18.9 ton per hectare tomato yield, whereas in urea supergranule 27.4 ton, and here deep placement urea 24. So here you can see 9 ton increase, here it is a 6 ton increase. So lowest being observed in case of farmer practices. The benefit cost ratio BCR was greater with urea supergranule 2.01 and deep placement urea 1.81 application, then farmer practices 1.31. So deep placement of both forms of urea was more efficient than broadcasting of pre-urea for summer tomato cultivation. So on the basis of they have recommended to the farmers that deep placement of both forms of urea, either through urea supergranules or deep placement urea, was more efficient than broadcasting of urea for summer tomato cultivation. And therefore, farmers would have to adopt these techniques for achieving a higher tomato production, and it also help in mitigation of the climate change, and the farmer require less chemical fertilizers, and they are contribute to the nations or reducing the global warming. So boro rice cultivation in Bangladesh. So determination of economic efficiency of deep placement and foliar application of urea fertilizer through the performance of boro rice, BRRI, Dhan 29. Dhan means rice. So rice is the most extensively cultivated cereal crop in Bangladesh, and nitrogenous fertilizer, especially urea, is the most pressing fertilizer to supply nutrient in the paddy field, rice field. With this view, an experiment was conducted to evaluate the effect of deep placement and foliar application of urea fertilizer on BRRI Dhan 29 rice cultivar in boro season at Agronomy Field Laboratory, BAU, Bangladesh Agriculture University, nourishing during December 2015 to May 2016. So results showed that the grain and soil of the rice variety responded significantly to the application of pre-urea, deep placement of urea supergranule, and foliar application of nitrogen. Considering the economic efficiency, the treatment T8 2.7 gram urea supergranule plus 3 foliar spray at the rate of 1.5% nitrogen solution. So the maximum gross margin and marginal gross margin with lowest cost per unit of product. Therefore, to get the highest grain yield, 4.8 ton per hectare, 82 kg nitrogen per hectare, urea supergranule, and 3 foliar spray of nitrogen at the rate of 1.5% concentration, that is total 219 kg urea per hectare, can be applied to the rice field of BRRI Dhan 29. This will save the amount of 81 kg urea per rice growing season per hectare. So when you follow this technique, then you can save 81 kg urea. And when you can save the urea 81 kg, then you are getting the more profit. And it also help in mitigation of the climate. So suppose throughout the country, suppose 50% of the farmers of the India, Bangladesh, China, and they adopt that proven technology, then they can save the urea fertilizer in rice crop, and the fertilizer use efficiency has been increased, and it helps in overall mitigation of the climate change globally. So thank you very much. And if you like my video, YouTube, then please don't forget to subscribe. If you have any query, then please reply. I have collected this information from the internet of the different experiment conducted elsewhere in Bangladesh,